All right, kiddies. It is season 4, episode 2 of Only Murders in the Building on Hulu. I'm James R. Jr. here on JLJ Media, and I'm back. I am by popular demand, literally by popular demand. Thanks for the numbers for the first episode of the. Didn't expect that. This one's called Gates of Heaven, and once again, overall, this show delivers. It gives you drama. It gives you comedy. It gives you things behind the scenes. It gives you little references, interesting people on the show. They got all these guest stars on the show. They've managed to find another way to be interesting in the series. Because it's called Only Murders in the Building, we were reminded of something from the past and we were introduced to something we'd never seen before. The West Tower. We were reminded about the passages, surprises, everything. So great. A John Hamm penis reference included. This was really a showcase for Jane Lynch, who is amazing in everything she does. And she took this kind of reoccurring, quirky character and she gave it heart this episode. Like, seriously, her and the scenes between her and Charles, Saz and Charles, which was played by Steve Martin, were so quietly heartwarming. And that's one of the things, because he sees her when no one else does, but he sees her. And throughout the series, throughout the season, we find out there's this documentary on back in the day when they were doing Brazos, which just makes me laugh, of course. It's part of the backdrop. But it's really when Saz and Charles talk. First, it's kind of flippant and comical. And then towards half the way through the episode, they have a scene on the couch where she says, "You don't have to feel guilty about what happened because that's literally my job, was to always look out for you on the show." It's stuff with stunt. It's also an ode to stunt doubles and how close they can get to some of their actors. I know sometimes use the same stunt doubles over and over again in films and TV shows, and it was very much shown that this is kind of like the ultimate sacrifice. I died to save you, or I died in your place, basically, which is what stunt doubles. That's the price they could pay when they do these roles. It's just the way they tied that in the writing and the acting, and she puts her hand on his shoulder, he puts his hand up there. He really misses her more than he realizes. And later, before they're about to spray to find out where she was, this luminol to see where she was, they have a talk. And we also learned at the very beginning of the episode about her background. It's just, genius. She comes from a family of stunt people. That's just what it is. And it's all can be used for metaphors for life. One of her things was tap in. He would freeze when he played Brazos. She would come in and do the stunt. The way he said it was so poignant. It was like, I should just freeze. Then she do the rest. And it was almost like he was frozen over this death. That's why at the very end, spoiler alert, when they spray the luminol, because remember, she was starting to write something when she died. Well, apparently she wrote tap in. I just was like, that's the genius of the whole episode of that, their talks. They used the clues they found at Jane and Saz's house. They start a board. There's always a board to work from. And also, not only does Saz take after Charles in many ways, they brought back Jan. I was like, oh my, I forgot all about it. And the way they did it, again, spoiler alert, it was so shocking. You're like, because Saz is like trying to tell, like, you're the target. He was fighting him, that he was the target. He didn't want to believe that. He thought it was after Saz. But think about it. Saz was dressed as him. And by a little side plot, just hilarious, there's Jan in the closet. She escaped prison. She says parkour or whatever. A whole fucking thing ensues on that. She loves Saz also. She was dating Saz also. And so there's a moment where the three of them, of course, Saz, as a figure of mentioned, she's sitting there. They talk lovingly about Saz and how much Saz loved Charles. You're just like, God, they took this outrageous plot, and she goes back in the closet, and she goes, I remember the passages from season 2 of your podcast, season 2 of the show. Like, I just thought that was brilliant also. And we're introduced. This is brilliant. The Arconia is huge, like many places. And it's based on a real place in New York. It's huge. There is the West Tower. Like, there you go, kids. So it's completely supposed to be totally different. It's like cheaper. They all rent. There's a whole funny thing about that. And when they go over there, you can totally see how different it is. They're calling them the Westies. And they had 3 sets of suspects. There's this Christmas guy who's Christmas all the time. That's Kunal Nurjani. He's in it. It's great. We don't get to really meet him, though. We just see him with the Christmas. The Sauce family, we get to meet them. They're always stirring sauces. And the Stink Eye guy, which is Richard Kind. He's also getting Stink Eye. So I thought, Gene, yes, the whole other part of the book we don't even know about. So that's where Oliver and Mabel do most of that because they want to save Charles. So they go over there and they meet Stink Eye guy, and his name is Vince Fish. He actually has pink eye. He's going back and forth and back and forth. That's why he's wondering why. He's like wondering why Charles is staring at him. But he knows who they are and he shows us stuff. But his windows are painted shut. Painted shut. Then they meet Inez, Alfonso, and Anna. And the guy who plays Alfonso, I loved him on another show. I got the name of his name is Desmond Borges. And he played the best friend of the lead character. And that show was so good on FX. It was on FX. Big name of the show. So he shows up. His wife loved Brazos. So she wears push-up bras. There's this whole thing that gets attention. So what's really funny, again, keeping it kind of whimsical, but yet it all matches. You have to watch everything because everything plays in. That's what they do every season. It plays into the story. Vince Fish says, I'm going to play a thing called Oh Hell. It's a card game. We never like to know. That's even like beside it, but we don't get to know what it is. They never explain it. But you have to achieve something. You have to achieve something. And they bring out this knife. It's like, what are they doing? And they're going into the bathroom. So I'm like, are you doing drugs? But at first I thought it was drugs. I thought, is it they cutting themselves? I was going, but it turns out because Oliver has to do it. Great suspenseful moment. It's actually, it's a ham. Let me make sure I say this correctly. Imported from Portugal, hanging in the shower. Real calls it toilet ham. And as I say, they're taking slices and eating it. Weird. And I love the whole thing about have you achieved. That's pretty funny also. Let's make sure I say that. This Dudenoff guy, that's the thing they keep wanting to know what's going on there. And they see when they go by, there's a lockbox on that door. They run back, they go on the board, they find a letter, the numbers. The numbers on there that Sad's written down, and she had written down Dudenoff also. Goes back, they go inside. It's dirty and all, but the window opens, they see some footprints or whatever. Someone tries, it's like they're trying to get in. They don't, but they find a pig. It was so cute. Pig goes away at some point. Was really cute. And I was like, oh, but Oliver finds a piece of tinsel. It's like a quick little thing. He finds tinsel by the window. He drops it when she cleans screws of the pig. Keep that in mind, folks. They do that. And then hilariously, so Jan leaves. The way she changes her shirt. some funny stuff about having sex with him really quick, leaves. And the whole episode, there's one running gag, and that is when they call 911, is it an emergency? No. You have 68 people ahead of you in line. Then later on, it's 35 people ahead of you. Like, it goes lower and lower and lower, 8 people ahead of you in line. Well, all of a sudden, he's still on hold. They bust into his apartment, and it's Oscar winner Divine Joy Randolph. She won an Oscar for Leftovers, which I haven't seen yet, which I want to see. And she's always hilarious as the cop. And they're all there reunited, and it's a really fun moment because it comes together. It's like Jan, we're here for Jan. We saw she came here and all this stuff, but he's like, she was here, and he's like, she was here, and she's like, well, what are you calling for? Then he finally, the thing goes, hi, what is your emergency? And he was like, to report a murder. And at the very end, the numbers they used to open up that door to that apartment, you turn upside down, it spells out, oh hell. This show is, I mean, it really is a masterpiece in mystery, clue making. Like, you're putting it together as you're watching the show. It is a trip. And I just kept thinking, it's still working. This totally works. But the advent of the whole West Tower, smart, 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 smart. Love the show. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. And that's your quick recap of episode 4, season 2, Gates of Heaven. Every Tuesday is an episode, or Wednesday. I can't remember what day it comes out, but I would usually do them Wednesdays. I do the next day and get them out to you guys on Thursday. Hope you enjoy it. I'm James Lodge Jr. Talk to you next time.